All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I have a quick video for you going over the new in-game settings for Modern Warfare 3 and how you should have all of your in-game settings configured for the best performance, FPS, and image quality, also the best controller settings as well, to keep the game feeling as smooth as possible. If you're looking for a significant bump in performance, you're definitely going to want to see this video. Console players, a lot of these settings are going to apply to you as well, especially the controller settings, and PC players, in my next video, I'm going to show you an advanced setting inside of the game files that I tested that could end up increasing your FPS by over 30 to 40 points. It did for me, it actually works, and I have the proof. Now, the settings I'm going to go over today, I tested against the meta settings that everybody else on YouTube is running using the benchmark tool, and I actually got a pretty big improvement in FPS without losing much image quality. I'll also have a best audio settings video for maximizing footsteps and a bunch of other videos ranging from advanced PC settings to best image and monitor settings as well. I'll also have Warzone loadout videos, in-game tips, and a ton of other content coming out through 2024. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell if you want those notifications. All right, so jumping right into it, first I'm going to quickly go over everything that's new so far with regards to settings, and then I'll quickly go through and show you my settings and how I have them configured. All right, so in the graphics section under the quality tab, we have our first new setting. It's called variable rate shading. It's designed to help increase performance. I'll definitely be testing this for both Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone once it officially releases. Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a couple new upscaling and NVIDIA options added as well, like DLSS 3 and NVIDIA Reflex. Now, I don't have anything new here, but I am on a 3090. It might only be available for 40 series cards. I'm not 100% positive though, so don't quote me on that. Now, unfortunately, that's it for the graphics section, but if we go over to the controller section, you'll see we now have 3 tabs up here instead of 2, and under this first controller tab, we now have the ability to test different dead zones for our controller and to see if we have any stick drift, and they've also added a few illustrations showing us the difference in the dead zone settings. Now, under the aiming tab, we have a new tactical stance sensitivity multiplier for the new tactical stance behavior. They've also added a new aim response curve scale, giving us the ability to adjust the effectiveness of the aim response curve. And then the only other thing under the aiming tab that's different is gyro aiming has been renamed to motion sensor aiming. Now, under the gameplay tab, the first new setting is slide cancel sprint. This allows you to slide cancel, I guess. Now, I tried this setting with it both on and off, and I can't tell the difference. Now, next we have the new tactical stance activation and tactical stance behavior settings, and then they've also added a new manual fire behavior setting where you can hold down the trigger to fire semi-automatic weapons, which I guess then makes it fully automatic. Now, I did end up trying this out, and the fire rate was a lot slower than if I was just rapidly pulling the trigger. Now, lastly, we have this lean out activation setting for leaning out of windows when you're inside of a vehicle. Now, that's pretty much it for the new in-game settings. I didn't go through keyboard and mouse just because I don't play keyboard and mouse and I don't know that much about it. Now, I'm just going to quickly go over my settings for the best combination of image quality and performance based off all the testing I did on Modern Warfare 2 and the little bit I've played of Modern Warfare 3 so far. Okay, so I'm going to start with the controller settings and just quickly go through them. Input device is obviously controller. Inputs, I keep them all at default. Controller vibration off so it doesn't mess with my aim. Under the aiming tab, I have my sensitivity at 7. There are 2 new advanced stick sensitivities I forgot to mention earlier. They are locked for me though because I use custom settings. Sensitivity multiplier, I just keep at default. Vertical aim access, all standard. Tactical stance sensitivity multiplier, I have at 0.80, just because sometimes when I aim in after I slide cancel, it goes to a tactical stance, and I want it to be close to my low zoom ADS sensitivity. Aim response curve type dynamic, and I haven't messed with the new aim response scale yet. Focus multiplier 0.90, ADS sensitivity transition timing gradual, so I aim in a little bit smoother, and then here are my custom sensitivities. 0.70 up to 5 times, and then 0.85, 1.0, and then 1.25 for high zoom to make quick scoping a little bit easier. Target aim assist on, this doesn't apply to multiplayer. Aim assist type default, third person ADS type assist, and then motion aiming off. Now going down the list under the gameplay tab, automatic tactical sprint off, and then single tap sprint because this makes it a lot easier to go from prone to sprinting quickly. And then I have it off, off, off. Tap the slide, that's important for slide canceling. Plunging underwater, I have set to trigger. Auto deploy off. Sprinting door bash on. Ledge climb behavior movement based, and that's super important for climbing over things faster. Slide cancel sprint on, and then hold sprint, hold. ADS plus melee, short, ADS plus melee, on toggle, prioritize reload, apply all, off, directional buttons, interrupt, on, grouped, hold, and then the vertical behaviors and the overlay behaviors all set to default. All right, so going over to the graphics section, starting with the display tab, I have full screen exclusive, my monitor, my graphics card, screen refresh rate set to its max, display resolution 1920 by 1080, aspect ratio automatic, display gamma 2.2, you don't want the other one, that's for TVs. Brightness I think is at 53. Then NVIDIA Reflex low latency you want on plus boost, super important to help with the CPU. And then eco mode custom, VSync off, custom frame rate limit unlimited, focus mode 90, I'm not even sure what that does, and then HDR off. Now, under the quality tab, this first setting here is set to custom. Render resolution I have at 100 right now. You can get a little bit better FPS if you lower it down to 90. Dynamic resolution off. I will be testing this to see how much it can benefit lower end PC users by turning it on, especially once Warzone switches over. For upscaling, I have Fidelity FX Cast with sharpening set to 70. I did a full benchmark video a couple months ago on all the upscaling options, and Fidelity FX Cast was the clear winner with the highest FPS and the best image quality. I'll definitely be doing another benchmark video once Warzone switches over and we get that new map. VRAM scale target 90, and then variable rate shading off, another setting I'll be testing. Now, I'll link a video at the end of this video for getting better FPS on medium to lower end PCs. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. But basically, any setting that affects the CPU, if you set it to its lowest possible option, it helps out tremendously with FPS on lower end systems. I go over a bunch of different settings I tested on my lower end streaming PC in order to increase FPS in Warzone. Now, I keep my settings a little bit higher on my 3090, at least for multiplayer anyway. Now, going down the list, I have texture resolution low, texture filter anisotropic low, depth of field off, detail quality level normal, particle resolution low, bullet impacts on, persistent effects off, shader quality low, on-demand texture streaming off, local texture streaming quality low, shadow quality low, screen space shadows off, ambient occlusion off, screen space reflections off, static reflection quality low, tessellation off, terrain memory minimum, volumetric quality low, deferred physics quality off, weather grid volumes off, water quality off. Now, under the view tab, I have field of view at 120, ADS field of view affected, that's very important if you want low recoil, weapon field of view wide, third person field of view is 80, I think it's just default, vehicle field of view wide so you can see enemy players better when you're driving. World motion blur off, weapon motion blur off, film grain 0, and then the rest of these are all just default. Now, this is how I have my audio settings. You could just take a screenshot if you want. I will have a detailed guide out very soon going over everything to increase footsteps. I'll even go over my audio settings for Windows. And if there's anything you guys would like to see, just let me know down in the comments. If not, just leave an emoji down there. It takes 2 seconds and it helps me out tremendously with the algorithm. If you found this video helpful, drop a like. That helps out tremendously as well. Follow me over on Twitter to stay up to date on everything MW3 and Warzone, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more short, straight to the point videos like this. I'll catch you next time, and if not, kick rocks. Peace.
Kick rocks, biatch.